This is Pat McCormack and you're watching the Sport Nation.
Okay, so Errol Spence Jr., the former WBA, WBC and IBF welterweight world champion, has said that he would like the rematch with Terence Crawford at super welterweights. That's £154, which is a £7 difference compared to when they fought this weekend. Now, firstly, £7, it will certainly help for sure. He won't be as depleted as what he was when he fought at welterweight, that's for sure. But the other flip side to that one as well is that Crawford also doesn't have to lose those extra £7, so it'd be a little bit easier for him as well. They're both in their 30s now, so it ain't going to be easy to make welterweight. And listen, it won't be easy to make super welterweight either. I mean, it really won't be. But for me, I didn't see that as an excuse as to why Terence Crawford dominated Errol Spence Jr. And that's ultimately what happened. He absolutely dominated him, all barring the first round. Everything else was Terence Crawford, where he dropped Errol Spence Jr. on 3 occasions. But I didn't see that as an excuse, the making the weight and all that kind of thing. And I'll tell you for why. Because Errol Spence Jr. done that to himself. He was the one who chose to be inactive. Because when you're inactive and you're walking around at your usual body weight, I don't know what kind of weight that Errol Spence Jr. walks around at. I imagine he's probably in the 180s, maybe £200. So therefore, you're not in the gym day in, day out. And of course, suddenly you're in camp, you're having to lose all of this weight after a long time. Your body doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. So he's done it to himself, he has. But ultimately, he hasn't looked right for some time, really. He hasn't. When he fought Danny Garcia, the fact that he turned his back at one point in the fight, he was very, very lucky that the referee didn't stop the fight. When he fought Ugas hit him hard, and Spence went against the ropes, and for some reason, Ugas didn't jump on him. That was a bit weird for me, that was. So Spence was a loss waiting to happen, that's for sure. But the way that Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr. had nothing to do with the weight. Nothing to do with it. It was all about skill set. It was. Now, Spence, he said that he couldn't get his timing right, whereas Crawford got his timing right. He would beat him to the jab and things like that. But again, that's down to the inactivity, self-imposed. These PBC fighters spend too long out of the ring. They do. And of course, when you're getting smoke blown up your backside from some of your radical fans, you're going to believe things that just ain't true. Terence Crawford was always going to win this fight. Now, my prediction, of course, for that fight was that I felt Terence Crawford would win. I did. What I didn't expect, though, was for him to dominate him, bounce him around, and then knock him out. I didn't expect a one-sided beatdown. I expected Errol Spence Jr. to be competitive. And if there was going to be a knockout, Errol Spence Jr. may well be the one to do it. He may be. But that's all down to Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is a legend. He is. And hopefully now people will appreciate him a lot more than maybe what they have done before. But a fight at super welterweight, I mean, I suppose the elephant in the room would be that, well, obviously it's not going to be for the undisputed titles, is it? I mean, doesn't Errol Spence Jr. want to be undisputed champion? Isn't that why he hung around the welterweight division? Isn't that why he collected belts from Ugas and whatever? I mean, isn't that the reason why? So a rematch with him and Terence Crawford for no belt at super welterweight. Now, I'll say no belt. Currently, there will be no belt because obviously the undisputed champion is Jermell Charlo. He's going to be taking on Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. Again, that's a bit of a silly move, potentially. Okay, but he's getting paid enough money. It's worth the gamble. If you win, fantastic. If you lose, oh, well, you're supposed to lose. But maybe Jermell will end up vacating all the belts or get a belt or two stripped from him. That could happen, so therefore it would free up a title. Maybe Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. could fight for one of them vacant belts. But again, we'll have to wait and find out. But I don't think them two fighting at super welterweight, at middleweight, at any weight will make any difference. I think that Terence Crawford was always better. And the fact that Errol Spence Jr. never really won this fight, well, this will probably tell you why. The fact that Al Heyman never wanted this fight. Now we know why, right? Terence Crawford is just too good for Errol Spence Jr. And there's nothing wrong with being second place to a Bob Crawford. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And Errol Spence Jr., he done very well in the fact that he kept getting up. He was trying to continue, when arguably his coach, Derek James, should have threw the towel in. He should have pulled him out a bit earlier, because he was never going to win. And I think a lot of people felt that and saw that in the eyes of Errol Spence Jr. at the end of round number 2, just after he got dropped. At that moment, he knew he was going to lose his fight. In part, I think probably he knew anyway before the ring walk, but took the gamble, going to get paid a lot of money. Let's just do it. But I don't think a fight at super welterweight will be any different. Because while Errol Spence Jr., he may be a little bit more durable, well, so will Terence Crawford. He's going to be that little bit stronger too. Did the car accident have anything to do with his performance? Well, the car accident was a long time ago, man. Was it a problem when he fought Ugas? Was it? Was it a problem when he fought Danny Garcia and whatever else? I mean, why suddenly now is it a problem when it wasn't a problem before? But, hey, listen, anyway. If they do fight again, I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but at the same time, there is a rematch clause and he's perfectly entitled to activate it. They both agreed to it, so they didn't have to fight each other. And they did, so he's entitled to a rematch. But can he make the adjustment? That's the biggest thing. Can he make the adjustment? If anybody's going to make an adjustment, it's Terence Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. fights the same way. I don't think he can make adjustments. He's not going to be able to do something that is so radically different to what he's always been doing. That's going to surprise Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. has a puncher's chance. Of course he does. But that's all he has, is a puncher's chance. And that's not to put him down at all. You know, I've always liked Errol Spence Jr. But Crawford's the man. I think that stylistically, Crawford's all wrong for him. If I'm Errol Spence Jr., I'm going to go up and hopefully his pal Jamel Charlo vacates the belts, or a couple of the belts, and then maybe fight Tim Tszyu for one. I would stay away from Terence Crawford if I'm Errol Spence Jr. I really would, because I don't see a way how he can make the adjustment. I don't see it. Is he damaged goods? Potentially. But you know what? I think he's done the right thing. Even if he felt he wasn't right going into this fight. Even if he is shot to bits now. It was right to take the fight. Because this was his payday. He's never going to get a payday like that again. Honestly, I don't think he is. There's nobody at super welterweight that he could get that kind of payday against. Nobody. So he was right to do it, and he secured his future. So you can't begrudge him getting the bag. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this one. You drop me yours. Click on the subscribe. Catch you next video.